Somerset's title bid held up by Yates' 100 at Edgbaston. Somerset were desperate to resume the County Championship season in style after losing top spot in the table to Essex before the T20 break. Those two well clear of the rest. 7th place Warwickshire still faced the threat of relegation, despite a handy lead over bottom side Notts. The hosts won the toss and elected to bat, but they didn't make the best of starts. In the second over of the innings, Jack Brooks had Dom Sibley caught in the gully, and Warwickshire were 0 for 1. Will Rhodes and Rob Yates set about the rebuilding job, and slowly but surely the pair grew in confidence. They brought up the 50 partnership in the face of some tight Somerset bowling, and matched each other for scoring. But it was Rhodes who reached his half-century first, his 5th of the season, with 8 fours. In doing so, he also completed the century stand. They took lunch at 105 for 1, a good recovery for Warwickshire after that poor start, and a frustrating morning for the title contenders. Yates dispatched the second ball after lunch for 4, the 19-year-old reaching his 50 off exactly 100 balls. And after that, the pair upped the tempo, with Rhodes lofting Bess for the first 6 of the match. But that greater exuberance eventually proved the opener's undoing, as he edged a wide one from Craig Overton to Stephen Davis to fall for 82, the partnership over at 153. Yates attempted to keep the scoreboard moving, but he and new man Sam Hain were becalmed by some tight bowling. But just before tea, Yates pulled Brooks for 4 to reach 91, equalling his highest first-class score. The Bears also had their first batting point, as they took tea at 200 for 2. And not long after tea, a big moment for Yates as he reached his maiden century of 215 balls with 16 fours. With 100 to his name, Yates began to cut loose, as did partner Hain, with Jamie Overton receiving particular punishment. But Warwickshire's momentum was finally stalled when Van der Merwe found some turn and Davis took a smart catch to remove Hain for 25. At 242 for 3, the home side was still on top, and they soon had a second batting point. But when Hose tried to drive Craig Overton again, he missed and was pinned for 17. Somerset were hopeful of finishing a difficult day with a flourish. Instead, Yates and Ambrose batted through to the close with little alarm, and even wrapped up another batting point in the final over. 303 for 4 at stumps, a good day for Warwickshire, and for their teenage batsman Rob Yates, 139 not out at the close, an unforgettable one. Title contenders Somerset endure another tough day in Birmingham. Day 1 at Edgbaston belonged emphatically to Rob Yates, as Warwickshire's 19-year-old batsman came to the wicket when the score was 0 for 1 and was still there at the close, having posted his maiden first-class century. He reached 139 not out in the home side's impressive total of 303 for 4. But the teenager was unable to continue his heroics on the second morning, adding just a couple to his overnight score before he edged Jack Brooks' first ball of the day to gully. After just 5 overs, with the score 313 for 5, a shower forced the players off until 12:15, but Ambrose wasn't there for much longer when play resumed, edging Brooks behind to go for 18. Warwickshire's Henry Brooks joined Burgess and added some useful runs, before he fell, caught in the gully off a leading edge, to give Jamie Overton his first wicket. Burgess continued in aggressive mood, hitting 4 boundaries in one Overton over to reach 45 not out at lunch from 45 balls. Warwickshire 384 for 7 with all 4 batting points, and it had been another difficult session for Somerset. And after the break, the landmarks kept coming for the home side. They reached 400, and then Burgess completed his 50. He didn't last much longer though, an attempt to drive Craig Overton just producing an inside edge onto the stumps. Soon after, Warwickshire skipper Patel was removed by his opposite number Abel, caught at first slip, and the end of the innings was nigh. Abel finished things off with his second wicket, Hannon Dalby falling to a superb catch by Davis. Warwickshire all out for 419, the card dominated by Yates's 141, and already it was hard to see how Somerset could achieve a much-needed victory. They had to wait to begin their reply due to more rain, but when they did begin, Davis settled quickly, driving Henry Brooks for 2 fours in the first over. He and Abel weathered the early storm until the Somerset captain made a mistake at the end of the 8th over, shouldering arms to Brooks and bowl for 10. It was 29 for 1. And Somerset's reply soon hit real trouble. Hildreth was trapped LBW by Hannon Dalby for 6. And from the very next delivery, Pakistani batsman Babar Azam hit the ball straight to mid-wicket for a golden duck on his championship debut. At tea, the visitors had reached 58 for 3, Davis 31 not out. He needed someone to stay with him, and Tom Banton obliged. The pair completed a crucial half-century stand just before Davis reached his personal 50 off 86 balls. The partnership was eventually broken by Rhodes, who had Banton caught behind off a thin edge for 23. After that, Davis and newman Bartlett focused on survival, although the senior partner still played his shots as he edged towards a precious century. Davis glanced Brooks for 2 boundaries to bring up the 50 partnership. But just before the close, perhaps a crucial moment, youngster George Garrett produced a beauty to bowl Bartlett for his first championship wicket. At 167 for 5 at stumps, Somerset still trailed by 252, and the threat of the follow-on looms large. Somerset's bowlers set up thrilling final day at Edgbaston. Somerset's search for the win they need to stay in touch with Essex in the title race looked rather forlorn at the end of day 2. They'd slipped to 167 for 5 in reply to Warwickshire's total of 419, with only Stephen Davis standing firm on 89 not out. Somerset's first task was to avoid the follow-on. Davis was looking to complete his first championship 100 for 2 years, and he was kept quiet by some tight Warwickshire bowling on the third morning. His patience was rewarded when he struck Hannon Dalby for successive boundaries to reach his century off 176 balls. Davis celebrated the landmark by hitting Patel for 6, but from the next delivery his brave innings ended, Rhodes taking the catch at slip. Davis gone for 109 and Somerset still short of that follow-on target. And that was still the case a couple of overs later when the 7th wicket fell. Rhodes, the bowler this time, Van der Merwe caught behind for just a single. Somerset needed a partnership and got it from Bess and Craig Overton, who survived through to the interval and scored heavily too, hitting 12 fours between them in a stand of 61. At 263 for 7, Somerset were now just 7 short of the follow-on. They hadn't scored those runs when they lost another wicket after the interval. Overton LBW to Hannon Dalby for 36 to end his stand with Bess. He was replaced by brother Jamie. But Bess continued impressively, removing the follow-on danger and completing his 50 from 133 balls. But on 52 he ran out of partners. Overton was caught in the gully for 22, and then Jack Brooks fell to Rhodes for a duck, Hayne taking the catch. Somerset 308 all out, 111 behind, but not out of it if they could bowl well. The Warwickshire openers had other ideas. Rhodes and Sibley made an untroubled start to stretch the home side's lead. Jack Brooks separated them, removing Sibley for the second time in the match, LBW for 9. The other openers soon followed. Rhodes flashed at a wide one from Abel and was well caught by Hildreth, and it was 48 for 2. And then 48 for 3, Abel striking with his next ball, Hayne LBW for a golden duck. Warwickshire were relying on first innings centurion Rob Yates again, but while he looked assured, Hose played an ugly shot to give Brooks his second wicket, and the host was 65 for 4. With Ambrose prepared to drop anchor at one end, Yates played some lovely strokes to edge the Bears' lead past 200. The teenager was able to complete another half-century from just 80 balls, with a little good fortune as he was dropped by Craig Overton at slip. Jamie Overton the unlucky bowler, but it didn't prove costly. In his next over he trapped Yates LBW for 53, and 2 balls later he struck again. Burgess caught a gully for a duck, and at 107 for 206. Warwickshire's lead was just 218. Somerset were very much back in the match. Overton certainly thought so, and his contribution was proving vital. His next over, he had Brooks caught behind, chasing a wide one. After that flurry of wickets, Ambrose and Patel attempted to dig in, but both were removed with the score on 135. Ambrose LBW to Craig Overton, while Patel fell to Abel in the same manner in the next over. And the Somerset skipper took the final wicket too, his fourth of the innings. Anand Dalby dismissed for 5. And Warwickshire's total of 146 meant Somerset needed 258 for an unlikely victory. Abel reduced that target by 8 before the close with 2 boundaries, and Somerset's bowlers have given their batsmen every chance of securing a precious win on day 4. 250 runs needed. Banton, Babar, Bess and Bartlett batter Warwickshire for crucial Somerset win. Title contenders Somerset dominated day 3 and set up a real chance of victory on the final day, which could be crucial with rivals Essex already having won. They reached 308 in their first innings thanks to a century from Stephen Davis, and then bowled out Warwickshire for just 146, with captain Tom Abel taking a career best 4 for 39. And he was batting at the close with the visitors 8 without loss, needing another 250 runs to clinch victory. A good start on day 4 was crucial, and after his first innings ton, Davis was soon playing with confidence. Both he and Abel managed to string of boundaries early on. But the promising start didn't last. Davis's loose drive at Anand Dalby giving Ambrose an easy catch, and Somerset were 33 for 1. New man James Hildreth opened his account with a boundary, but that was as far as he got. LBW to Anand Dalby after a lengthy deliberation by the umpire. Pakistan batsman Babar Azam came to the wicket after a duck in the first innings, but he soon lost his partner. Abel pinned in front by Brooks on his 20th birthday for 25, and Somerset were 3 down with more than 200 still required. Rhodes and Garrett bowled tightly in tandem as the runs dried up. When Tom Banton drove Rhodes for 4, it was the first boundary in 9 overs. No further dramas for Somerset before lunch, which found them 87 for 3, 171 more needed. After being watchful before the break, Banton and Babar Azam started to look for their strokes, and a couple of boundaries brought up the 50 partnership. And the batting tempo continued to rise, Brooks in particular treated harshly by Babar. And when Banton struck the same bowler for 3, he had his 50 off 87 balls, a crucial knock for his team. The 20-year-old didn't let up once he'd reached the landmark, and Warwickshire desperately needed a breakthrough. They got it from a youngster of their own. George Garrett trapped Babar LBW for 40 to end a 90-run partnership. Banton looked like the key man, and when he hit Garrett for 4, the victory target was almost down to double figures. New man Bartlett chipped in with a couple of boundaries of his own, and Warwickshire needed some inspiration. They got it from Tim Ambrose, who took a brilliant catch to remove Banton from Patel's bowling for 66, and Somerset still needed 88. New man Dom Bess made 50 in the first dig, and he continued in good nick with a string of early boundaries to take the visitors' total past 200. Bess soon moved past his partner Bartlett as Warwickshire's hopes started to dwindle. The pair saw Somerset through to tea at 215 for 5, just 43 more needed. And that victory target soon got smaller when play resumed, Bartlett lofting Patel for 6 to bring up the 50 stand. Now a crucial win was just a matter of time, and Bartlett was in a hurry, reaching his half-century off 72 balls. He took Somerset to the brink of victory, but it was Bess who finished the job, hitting 2 runs off Brooks to clinch a 5-wicket win. A superb effort after they'd trailed by 111 runs on first innings, and a crucial one in keeping the title race alive. 21 points means Somerset trail leaders Essex by just 2 with 3 games left. Warwickshire takes 7 points to pull further clear of knots at the bottom.